10 p.m. My son is sleeping. I have about 2 hours. I'm going to try to squeeze in a game development session. I'm going to model this wrench here. My character has a little steam gun and a katana sword, and I want him to have a huge wrench to smash enemies. So I'm going to model this in Blender and animate that attack animation and import it into Unity. Not sure we're gonna get all of that done in 2 hours, but let's see what we can do. Hopefully you can find the process helpful. So me put that wrench as a reference, and I'm opening the file here. So my character has a gun, a steam gun, and a sword. They're already working in the game. Now I want to get that wrench going. So you can see my shortcuts here at the bottom. Hopefully you'll find that helpful. And by no means I'm no expert modeler in Blender, but it's I found Blender to be wonderful. I've been working many years with Maya, and I love Blender so much more. I think it's great. So probably gonna go fast forward around this part, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy the process. Here's that. You guys can have a reference of what I'm looking at. The extrude tool is very, very useful. And this is a pretty easy model. I wonder if there should be more thickness to this thing. Maybe not. Looks kind of good. The only thing I'm thinking is that there needs to be a big screw here. So I'm trying to imagine how that would look like. I guess it's fine. Start giving these objects material here. I already have a red material, I believe. I think that should be quite fine to use the same one. And I do believe I have a metal one as well. Is it sword 2 maybe? It's too shiny. I'll create a new one. I'm gonna give it a call it wrench. In Unity, I'm going to give it more properties, but I just want to have the color for now, so I can see what I'm doing. created a backup because I'm about to do some destructive stuff to apply a bevel modifier to the red part and then bake it. And then that's a problem, because then later if I want to do some changes, it's going to be annoying. So I save the backup, even though I probably won't need it. And now I'm going to modify and do the bevel modifier, something like that. That looks quite okay. And remember, you see it from super far away, so and what's nice about this is I can play with it now. You know, I can, like, because it's not applied yet, I can just work with the original stuff, give it some more thickness, and the bevel would apply after I change the basic shape, so I can still play with it until I bake it. And the reason I want to bake it is because I want to do some modeling work here. I want to do first I need to mirror this probably, so I'm going to do Control R right here, and that creates a middle thing, and then I can delete all this stuff, and then I'm going to create a mirror modifier. Mirror. That's right. And so everything I do on that side happens on the other side. And I'm gonna try to create this thing here, the indent. But I'm hoping it's gonna be friendly with the bevel. Let's see. So I'm gonna do insert faces here. That's what's gonna give it a nice wrench shape. Yeah. Let's do another subdivision here, because I want to give it some kind of like it's like rounded at the edge of it. So give it a little rounding here, something like that. And this could be like that. And according to my drawing, this should actually go down all the way here, more or less. Let me speed it up again. See, that's the problem. That's exactly why I made a backup copy, because I'm gonna apply the bevel. Otherwise, what do you mean I can't apply? No, because I'm not in object mode. I need to be in object mode to apply the modifier. So now I applied it. And I kind of like the blocky look of that, because it's gonna give it like a wrench, like a heavy wrench kind of look. And now it's applied, I can do this thing, and that thing I'm gonna give it a bevel, I think, but not the same bevel as the other one. And I'm gonna make it deep. How deep does it go? Yeah, I'm gonna, as deep as I can, because from far away you won't be able to see it if it's not deep. I don't even think it needs a bevel. I don't think it needs a bevel, but it can be deeper. It can be deeper, like as deep as I can, something like that. Yeah, almost done. Now, should we go with a bevel? I'm not sure if we should go with a bevel or not. I think it looks fine. Don't need a bevel. This thing could use a little bevel though. This thing could use a little bevel. Because if you want it to shine, it just looks awful when the edge is so sharp. So even if we're doing low poly, it's nice to give it a little bevel so the highlights can catch on it, you know. It doesn't have to be a lot at all, just a tiny bit. 0.02. We're just about done. I wonder if this could use one as well. It's so tiny. It's gonna be so tiny that I'm not even sure. But again, just for the highlights, I'm gonna join these objects. Whoops! Need to apply this first. This array modifier. And I'm gonna join them and add a little bevel and 0.02. Yeah, I mean, not really necessary, but maybe we'll see the results in need to always think about how it's going to look like when it's tiny, you know. And everything's exaggerated. Otherwise, if it's not too big, then my character wouldn't have enough range. So it doesn't make sense that the range is so big. But you know, I'm trying to give it like a. If you look at a pixelated game for cartoony characters like that, they make the weapons bigger than the characters usually. So that's why it's important to, because when you're modeling, it doesn't make any sense when you know when you're up close, but when you zoom out, it does. So of course I didn't finish what I wanted to finish in 2 hours, where I had a little technical difficulties with some bad decision I made with the arms. So I'm gonna redo it. I'm just gonna unparent this for a second so I can show what I did. How to bind the object to the skeleton here. So I'm going to parent, clear parents, and so you know I finished this the model. I kind of I deformed it a little bit so it looks kind of like that. I used the deformation called Simple Deform. I played with it a little bit and I positioned it, and the arms are duplicated from the sword layer. I just duplicated them from the sword layer, and they're already bound to the armature. And now I just need to bind this. It's super easy in Blender. You just select that, select the armature, and do parent, and I do it with empty groups. So now it's already connected to the skeleton, and then the only thing I need to do is to go here, to go to edit mode, select all, and to go to this green thing and this is called weapon rotate. This thing, so the weapon can rotate, and I just assign it. That's it. And now when I go to the skeleton and I go to pose mode, it's already bound to the controller. So it's going to look like that, and the arms are going to look like that. They're a little bit different than the sword, which it works like that, but then I actually join the arms with the actual sword, so they rotate with the sword, because it's more suitable for this kind of movements. But for the wrench, since it's so big and it needs to swing around, it's better. That's what it took me a while to figure out, but it's better to do it like that. So then now we can really pose them. So now we need to do a few things for us to integrate it into the game. We need to figure out first of all his base pose, then his idle pose, and then his smashing pose, his attack animation. So first of all, I'm going to go to sword, all this sword stuff. I'm gonna go to sword idle, and I think it should work already the way it is. Well, it's a little bit too swordy. Want it to be a bit more. See, it's a cycle here. It's too rotated. So I'm gonna duplicate that one. You see, it's like this is called the animation actions, and that's what's when you import it to Unity, they're gonna get imported as different animations. And like I said, you go to the dope sheet, this one, and inside the dope sheet there's a bunch of stuff here. So I just go to the action editor, and here there's actions. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call it wrench idle. Really hoping this is how you spell wrench. Seriously. And then I press this little shield here, so it saves the animation and it doesn't ruin everything I do. If I move to a different action, if I don't put the shield, it's going to delete my work. So I put the shield, I put this auto key going on, and all I need to do is to rotate this guy. You know, actually, let me go back to its base rotation here just to make sure, and then just rotate in the right way, something like that, a bit like that. And now it should be, oops, we don't need the other keys here, delete the keys, this should be first, there we go, that's it. So we got wrench idle. We don't really need any other wrench, I think. Let me see how the jump looks like, sword jump, because I can use the same one as the sword. It's not bad, I think it's fine. It's a bit from far away it would look good, I think it's fine. All the other swords should be fine. Even the jump attack should be good, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's basically all I need the regular attack to look like. I wonder if I could just duplicate it for the regular attack, and that's it. That's gonna save a lot of work. What else do we have? Sword run. Yeah, how the run would look like. Yeah, I probably need to duplicate that one as well. And create a wrench run. That's hard to say. Wrench run, and all I need to do is to just get it to. I can move it too, by the way. It's not a problem at all. That's kind of cheating the animation here. You know, I've been working in feature animation, mostly as a storyboard artist, but also as an animator on VFX films, and you need to make sure that they hold, all the fingers are holding the weapon correctly and everything looks good, you know, because people see it on the big screen. But since it's like literally this size, it really doesn't matter. So I can really cheat a lot of things. It's a lot of fun, you know, you can jump between modeling, animation, Unity really quickly. You don't need to spend so much time on each stage. I mean, the bigger the character is, depending on the type of the game, if it's like a high budget Assassin's Creed or something like that, it needs to look right the way he's holding the sword, and you know. But if it's a tiny little guy, it's really fun because I can jump between the different things. and I don't get bored doing one thing. Alright, so we're at the wrench idle, wrench run. What else? Base, attack 1, attack 2. That's it, right? And roll. Let's see how the roll looks like. It's not bad. I think it's fine. I think the roll should be fine. This is the same as the sword roll. Okay, so the only thing I need is the attack, and I think what I'm going to do, let me see the attack. Yeah, I mean, I want him to do like just a regular smash from the top of his head, so. But it really looks like a jump attack. The same as the sword jump attack. I can duplicate that and call it a wrench. The wrench jump attack would look the same as the sword jump attack, but the wrench regular attack would look like the jump attack, except for this pose. This pose should look more like. By the way, have I done the run? Yeah, it's fine. So the first pose should look more like the sword attack. So it's so nice in Blender. You can just select all the joints here, all the different bones, and you can just press Ctrl C. You copy the pose. Now I go back to the wrench attack, and I just paste the pose. Boop. Ya está. That's it. And it's not perfect. I do want it to go backwards a bit. Maybe. Maybe I don't. I can go a little bit this way because it's like I want to have a big anticipation. So that you know how in the From Software games, some of the bigger weapons the character needs to kind of wind back before they can attack. You know. So I want to do something like that. It's a heavy weapon, and it's not that's the downside of using it. It's going to have a strong attack, but zero this out. But it's going to take some frames to actually be able to attack. So you need to, depending on your play style, you know, if you want to play like that. I have a big anticipation here. So again, I'm just breaking this pose a little bit. I want him to smash all over from over his head, you know. Be really big, as big as I can without breaking the rig too much. Break it a little bit. Finally, all my years of not caring at all about the details. That's my downside as an artist, is I don't, you know, I really work dirty and I really don't care about the details so much. Finally, I can do whatever I want, you know. Is this? Yeah, I did translate this spine control. I actually wanted to do like an arc thing, and this leg is way too backwards. I wanted to get this like arc going here, which I really still didn't get. Okay, so I actually want to do a big anticipation, not only one frame. In one frame he already gets here, which this one I like. This one's fine. Even though I'm going to get a more clank kind of hit on the actual wrench. And I don't need the last poses here at all. I don't need that. I do like the Looney Tunes of it, but I do need a bigger anticipation here. Anticipation in animation is when you go to do the opposite of the action before it. Like if I'm going to throw a ball, first my hand's going to go backwards a lot, like, and then you can pop into the big action. If you look at the classic cartoons, Bugs Bunny and stuff like that, that's how they do it. And our brain is so good at knowing that when this happens and then that happens, even after one frame, the brain kind of interprets it as a big, strong action. So I'm going to select all the keys. I want a bigger anticipation here, and I'm going to go. I'm thinking in my head like, So the about. Also, it needs to be fun to play, so I don't want it to be too long. It's freaking annoying. So maybe 4 or 5 frames. Punk. Let's play it 1 second. Punk. 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 Looks pretty good. So every time you attack, it would look like that. Let's watch it from a bit too much. Because it's not going to be so much time. It's going to go back to normal quicker. Punk. That's kind of fun. I'll play that. Alright. So that's it, I think. That's the attack, right? Am I forgetting something? We have the jump attack. We have the regular attack. I feel like the jump attack should be more closer to this one. Okay, let's duplicate it. Call it wrench jump attack. And again, I don't need this pose. I want him to go down all the way like that. So I'm using the dope sheet here to drag the keys around. Those are the animation keys. And I'm pressing A to select all the bones, you know? So much easier than Maya, this thing. So much easier than Maya. Was this 1 frame? Yes, it was. It was 1 frame. So now let's just have a bigger anticipation. Again, Control C, Control V. Let's have a bigger one. Okay, so we have jump attack, we have idle, we have, which will be looping, we have run, we have attack. Okay, it took about 15 minutes to get 4 new animations. You know, using the old poses, of course, but some tweaking. Alright, so now the fun part, and by fun part I mean the least fun part ever, is to import it into Unity. I'm going to go to object mode, select all, and then I have a file export that's called file exporter little how do you call that, extension, or like a package that I got somewhere. It's called Better FBX Exporter, because FBX is the format we're going to use in Unity. You can Google Better FBX Exporter. I like it a lot. It breaks less than the Unity default exporter, and I know from the past that the scale has to be on 40, because that was my, I have it written here too. I have an empty object that says I use Better FBX scale 40, and I'm going to do only selected objects here, and I'm going to do the animation. The animation will be all actions, and I think the rest should be fine. Just need to find the directory. And I'll call it little coop wrench. Hopefully that works. Alright, so now we're in Unity, and let's see, this is the one we did. So we have all these animations, we have all these, let's see the wrench, how that looks like. Yeah, that works. That works. I have no idea why it started to do from -1 here at all. No idea, but it shouldn't be. But anyway, that's fine. Okay, so we need a few things. I'm not gonna redo my whole character, okay? But what I do need is, you can replace some specific things. For example, I need the actual object of the wrench. You see, we have here the sword object, which gets turned on and off by, I made a script here so I can choose if it's a sword or a gun. And we need to add another 3 objects, which are the wrench, the 2 arms and the wrench. So let's do that first. Let's put him in sword mode again. And I'm going to duplicate these. Control D. Call it wrench. All right, these 3. Okay, I don't need to see these for a second. These 3, I'm going to change them. So this one's gonna be this one. Boop. This one's gonna be this one. Boop. And the sword is going to be the wrench. Boop. Right. The only problem is that I need to change this thing. Let's just do something like that. And listen, this is a very technical part. I think I'm going to cut forward and show you how it plays. The last thing I wanted to show you is how you import the new animations, and you just go to the FBX, you open it like that, and you go to the new animations we did, which are these ones, and you just copy paste them, Control C, Control V, and I put them in the animation folder, and then later I can plug them in into the animator. I'm gonna do all that stuff and I'm gonna go over it, and then I'm gonna show you how it plays. That's done. I'm gonna go over it. It's a bit technical, but we can go more in depth in future videos. I just thought it's cool for this video to go all the way from modeling to animation to importing to Unity, and then to show you kind of the final result. And I'll go over it a little bit what I did. So I have here, you know, using code, I made this variable that's enumerator, and I added there's a gun, sword, and wrench. Now that's a new one, and you know, you can switch between them. And then in Unity we have the animator, which controls what kind of animation does. I know it looks super complicated right now, but it's just the states. This is the basic states of him kind of standing and running, and then it can go into the jump and to the getting hit and the roll. And these are the three different attacks. So we have sword attack, wrench attack, and shoot with a gun. And then during the, you know, if you go inside the attacks, I just plugged in the animations that we got from, you know, the FBX. If you go to the FBX we made, you see we have these wrench animation that we got through the Blender actions, and I plugged them in here. And then in order to tell the character to switch, for example, for running or for idle position, how to switch to the right one, I have here what's called animation overrides. So that I have the default of the character with a gun, and then when I want him to have a sword, I want him to stand a bit differently, to run a bit differently. So I have these overrides. If you don't use any overrides, in this case the gun has no overrides except for the roll, which I changed a little bit. So I plugged in the roll and there's no override. So he's just using this basic animator. But if I want to override any kind of animation clip, I can use the sword. So I just overrode 4 different things here. The sword idle, jump, roll, and run, other than the attacks that I'm handling separately. And likewise for wrench. So we're plugging 4 different animation for the idle. Remember we did that. The jump, which I'm using the sword jump, the roll, and the running with the wrench. Those are the only 4, and then the attacks are being handled with the animator here. So I go to the base layers, 3 different types. Okay, and I had to code a little bit of stuff, but not too much, because I already had the infrastructure for weapon switching and all that, so everything should be okay. So with all that crazy technical babble out of the way, let's just see how it looks like. Our work took about, I was hoping it's going to take 2 hours, you know, including recording this video. I would say it took maybe 5 hours. You know, maybe without the video it would take like 4 or 3 hours. So we have him running and jumping, everything's okay, and then the attack. So there he is. I still have to create the collider, which would help the enemies detect if I'm hitting them or not. And I still have to add the VFX. By the way, we can jump and attack. Still have to add the VFX, the sound effects, and the collider for the enemies, but that's about it. About a day of work, I would say, to integrate a new weapon from scratch. So hopefully you found this video interesting about you know, some of the process and how fun developing games can be. And I'll see you in the next video.